Welcome to ProjectME the Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME the Podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Hey guys, in this episode of ProjectME the Podcast with Tiffany Carter, I'm going to share with you how to start a side hustle or a new business with little or no cash. Okay, we aren't going to go crazy deep into all the details. I'm going to give you the highlighted version so you can have some food for thought. And then we're going to have other episodes that are going to dive a little bit deeper. Because if you're at all like me, which I would imagine if you're listening to me, you have a little bit of my style in you. You like having a nice, clear overview to start and then get into the nitty-gritty. So a lot of people who want to start a business or even a side hustle, right, don't have a bunch of money saved or don't have additional expendable income, whether they have kids going to college or their kids play sports, which are crazy expensive, or there's a divorce, or your crappy corporate job pays you like shit. Or maybe you're so unhappy in your job and it has a heavy bonus commission structure that you're just not doing that well in the job because you're really not happy there. Whatever the case may be, we all have different story. You just don't have that extra cash you don't feel you do to start your side hustle or to full-fledged start a business. Also could be the case that you've lost your job and instead of going and searching tirelessly for another corporate job, you want to take this opportunity for your own time. So I do think it's really important. It's really easy for people to say, oh, just quit your job and, go after your dreams or just start your side hustle and you can do it. Well, with most, especially digital-based businesses, I mean, if we're talking brick and mortar, that's a whole nother story. If you actually want to open up a photography studio, yoga studio, restaurant, that's a whole different animal. But if we're talking about, a web-based business, website, using social media, generating passive income, et cetera, et cetera. So I call that, hashtag laptop lifestyle, work from anywhere. That's my zone of genius. And in that area, a lot of people can think because a lot of people put it out there who are making about the same that I do. They're saying, oh, all you need is your laptop and Wi-Fi and your cell phone. Okay, well, that's a great starting point, but that's not exactly true. Okay, so you need more than that. You're going to need to have different platforms. Yes, you can start a blog for free, but you have to purchase a URL. You have to pay for internet hosting, for example. Now, these are pretty small dollar amounts, but these dollar amounts do add up. I have for my business 25 different platforms on the professional level that charge. A lot of them offer a free level with limited features and capabilities, which is awesome that they do that because as your business grows, you can grow with them. So it is totally possible to start a digital-based business. And if the business is based around, your own area of expertise, very possible to start that with very little to no cash. That part is true. It's the part of when you're wanting to, of course, and need to grow quickly. It's really hard to grow quickly unless you're, married to a celebrity or an amazing publicist or something like that. It's very hard to grow quickly without spending money. Okay. It's really, really hard. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's not really super realistic if you already have no additional income and you don't really have much of a savings, or you can't touch that savings because it's going to something that is, already committed to, right? So I want to give you some ways that you can start your side business, or you can start your new business, or continue to grow it, and where the hell to get that money from. Okay. But I just want to confirm for the record, you can surely get started, especially a digital-based business, a service-based business. You can absolutely get started as long as you have, and it can't be some broke down, 10-year-old laptop. You have a decent computer, you have strong Wi-Fi, and you have a phone. You absolutely for sure can start like that, because you can do a blog, you can set up a blog for free. But buying the URL and the web hosting, let's just say you'd have to put aside, I don't know, I would just say like $30 a month. Okay. So that is possible. So that's the good news. So there's no money excuse that would really work for me that I would buy into on a digital or service-based business, because you can come up with $30 a month. And if you can't, I can be very blunt on how you can make it. And it's really damn easy. It's called a garage sale. It's called eBay. Not hard. We all have extra stuff in our lives that we don't need that other people want. So when you're wanting to grow your business to that next level, or you need to grow it quickly, it's like, no, Tiffany, I'm doing this business. I'm passionate about it, but this thing has to monetize quickly because I have no other money coming in. I get that. Okay. I get that. And everyone has a different tolerance level and a different ability to have no money coming in. Mine is almost zero, to be quite frank. Not comfortable at all in that area. So I really understand you. So here are a couple things. Number one, if you are currently employed, or you currently have a business that is generating, decent income or solid income, maybe because you're wanting to start a different business or move in a new direction. If you already are employed and you've been making, a regular income, I don't care if it's 50,000, I don't care if it's 100, I don't care if it's 250,000, you can still do this. So I need you to go to your bank, whatever your bank is, preferably a bank that has like a pretty strong business banking aspect. So I know Wells Fargo, because I'm trying to think of a national well-known bank, not just, the ones that are here in Los Angeles. Wells Fargo is known to have a solid business banking side that is very friendly to new business owners, or, micro, small business friendly. So just a thought, but do your own research, see what works for you. But you can apply for a business line of credit. Okay. Now, me saying that, I got amazing advice from my business manager. God bless him. And he said, for your business line of credit, you want to apply for this line of credit when you're having, a good year, or you've had a good couple of years, not when, the shit's hit the fan, or not when you're wanting to leave and start something else. So always apply for a business line of credit once you've had steady income. And like I said, as long as it's steady and it's making income. So the business line of credit, you don't have to have your so-called new business set up yet. Okay, you can create a generic entity. My company's name is TLC Enterprises, right? TLC Enterprises owns two companies. One is TLC Enterprises and the other is ProjectME with Tiffany. I have a business line of credit under TLC Enterprises. I got that business a line of credit during a year that was very obviously a peak year. I wasn't trying to be pessimistic and saying that I can't repeat that year, but it was an unusually peak year. Therefore, the bank really, really, really was happy with me. I went and applied for that business line of credit, and that line of credit can be used at any time I need it, and it's there for me. And it's not at the same, it's at a low interest rate. It's nothing like a credit card, and it's nothing like a traditional business loan. Okay. So I want you guys to look into that. I don't want to sit here and go into some whole financial thing about it, because I'm certainly not a financial advisor, and every bank has different nuances, but Google it, research it, look it up. Okay. The next thing I would say, and I say this with caution, is credit cards. I know a lot of people who either have been fired, laid off, their job is so horrible in the environment, they just need to quit. I know people who've gone through a divorce, so they have horrible credit. And so therefore, using credit cards, right? Using that credit and credit cards to help you up level your business and do what you need to do. There's not always enough credit in there. But for the most part, most people, unless your credit score is in the toilet, you have enough credit. I mean, you have usually, listen, they give college students even like $800 a month, and they have nothing. So what I mean by college students, I mean 18 plus, college students. So you can do credit cards. Now, I am not a fan of keeping any sort of credit going, debit going in your credit cards, because the amount of money you have to pay when you make payments every month is out of control, and it's exorbitant, and it's not worth it. And you might as well have never bought that item in the first place, because now that $2,000 TV, by the time you pay it off, is $4,000, and you would have never bought it for that. But in the case of building your business, and you let's say you can't get a business line of credit, or let's say the business line of credit isn't enough, I'm okay with credit cards, especially for small amounts. So let's say you need to put on, you have to use your credit card for various platforms, or you need to pay a web designer to create a shopping cart for you, because maybe you want to take like your Etsy style business and you want to bring it to your own web page, or, so that you don't have to pay Etsy a commission or something like that. So you need an expert to create a shopping cart for you that you don't know how to do. And it would take you, tens of hours to even figure it out, and it still might not be right. Okay, most people that you hire to contract, whether it's a graphic artist, a web designer, a writer, whatnot, they will be glad to accept all payments, including credit card payments. Okay, even myself, for example, you want to hire me whether it's as a corporate consultant, or you want to hire me as a business mentor on transitioning from corporate life to entrepreneur life, or growing your own business. I sure as hell take credit cards. I take almost any form of payment except I don't take, animals or spices, so to speak. So they take credit cards. I'm okay with you paying someone like that with a credit card when it's something that is essential for you to up-level your business. And without doing it, you would otherwise sit there for, days trying to figure out computer coding or something ridiculous that's not in your zone of genius. In that case, use the damn credit card. And okay, worst comes to worst, it takes you, 6 months to pay it off because you have to wait for your, business to monetize. That's okay. That's an okay situation. So I want to put that out there. If you're someone who does this like pride, I'm a cash person, I only pay cash, I only use my debit card. That was my fiance. And he got to experience how that screwed him later in life, because when you're always paying for everything in cash or in full on a debit card or with a check, you establish no credit. And it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter how much you make. And now you have to start from scratch with like a $300 to $500 limit credit card. That's not really fun. So if you don't currently have a credit card, I want you to get one. And I want, even if they require you to pay them in order to get it, okay, if your credit's really bad or you've, filed bankruptcy before or something like that, they require you to pay them like, okay, you give us $500, we'll give you a $600 limit. And it very quickly changes once they see that you pay it off, but you need to start establishing credit and growing your credit ASAP, because when you're a business owner, you need that credit. Even if you have the money, even if you're making a lot of money, for example, almost everything is going on credit cards with me. One, it's ease of use. And two, I'm a huge fan of airline points and miles. So you need that credit space to get other perks that involves. Plus, it frees up your actual, cash that you have. And when you pay for everything on credit cards on your business credit cards for business, now you have a document, right, that they already provide you that has all your expenses there. So it makes your taxes a breeze. Well, that's going too far. It makes it better. Okay. Another thing I would say is, I get asked this question a lot. Should I take investments from friends and family? Or I don't really want to take on a partner, but I need money. Or here's what I have to say to that. For most things, there's no absolute yes or no. Okay. Most of life is in a gray zone. I would say that if this person is a parent or an uncle, and they know that it could be years before you can pay them back, or there's a chance that your business might not work, as long as they have that mentality and that kind of uncomfortable conversation is had, yes, take their money. It gets tricky when it's like, okay, well, I'll give them, equity in my business for that money. I don't really love that. Everyone's business is so unique that gets so convoluted. It's more so someone believing in you, someone that believes in you and wants to give you help, and is someone that it's very clear, listen, I will pay you back, but I can't guarantee a time frame when I can pay you back. But I can tell you this, and we can put it in writing. When I start generating X amount of month, I can pay you, write you a check for $500 each month till that's paid off. So you can have something like that, right? Because you don't want to set it up where as soon as I make money, Uncle John, I'm going to, pay you all back. Well, no, that's not a good idea. Unless, of course, some crazy, thing takes off and you end up on Shark Tank, and you can easily do it. But you don't ever want to set up a promise like that. You want to keep these expectations extremely conservative and just keep it blunt and keep focusing on, thank you for believing in me. I know that I will do whatever it takes to make this business get off the ground and thrive. And let's put an agreement in place. When I start making X, I will pay you X, or I pay you Y. That will make both people feel really good about it. And even if Uncle John says, oh, no, that's not necessary, you know what? Do it anyway. If Uncle John chooses not to sign the contract, that's on him, but you've kept your side of the street clean and you've operated with integrity. And now that's totally on him. That's really his problem. But it makes people feel really good. I've invested in people's businesses, and I could tell how uncomfortable they were asking me. And they quickly went to, oh, I'll offer you, 10% equity. I'll offer you this. And it's like, no, when it's like a friends or family deal or someone I really believe in, you know what, just, let's come up with an arrangement of how you would pay me back. Unless it's something, right, where I know it's some, tech app, or it's something unique where I'm like, oh, yeah, I definitely want equity. Or it's someone who's a proven entrepreneur. That'd be a different story, because I could see where there would be a huge upside. But I like to keep things very simple, and I don't want to create awkward moments with friends and family, because that shit can get awkward really quickly. But I do say go to them before you take on a partner, and they can't be a partner. And also keep in mind, sometimes when you go to these people, because they've given you money, they feel they can give you their 2 cents all the time about your business. And now if you value their opinion and they have a leg to stand on, meaning they know your field or they're an expert, that's awesome. You're getting free great advice. If it's Uncle John who, just worked his whole life and he's retired and has some extra money, no, you don't have to listen to it, but just be polite. Just be like, I appreciate your input. Thanks, Uncle John. End of story. You don't need to listen to it. You don't need to especially listen to it hours after hours after hours. That's where boundaries come in. So those are some suggestions on how to start a side hustle, elevate your business, or start a new business with little to no cash. You need to take that excuse out of your brain, because first off, you can start it with truly like $30 a month, like a digital service-based business. Obviously, if you're like a photographer, or you're wanting to have a photography business, you need a camera, but you don't have to buy the camera. You can borrow someone's camera. You know how many people have damn beautiful cameras because they thought it was cool, or there was a big sale, or they got it as a gift that they almost never use it? You could say, I'll rent it from you for $5 a month or $15 a month. So there is really no excuse with starting a business. There's no cash excuse that would really work on me. But in terms of like elevating that, I understand when you elevate your business, it takes cash to make cash. And so I wanted to give you some suggestions that can get you there. Or if you're, in a spot where you're up leveling and you need additional resources and you've weighed out the options and it's worth the investment, then absolutely check out what suggestions I've given you today. And also, if you want, head on over to my Instagram or my Facebook page at ProjectME with Tiffany, and just do a post and put in comments. Put in the episode comments. Some of your own things that have worked. There's always things that I don't necessarily think of, and that could really benefit other people. That'd be really cool of you to do. All right, thanks, guys, and as always, wishing you great wealth, health, and worth. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.